Welcome to episode 30 of the Tea and Possibilities podcast. I'm Nikki, and this is a podcast all about knitting, crochet, and making all the things here in Northwest London. You can find me online on Twitter and Instagram at hippie_Nikki. I have a Tea and Possibilities group on Ravelry if you search for Tea and Possibilities on the groups tab there. And all of the show notes, as always, will be on my blog, the link to which will be just below. I'd like to say a massive hello and welcome to any new viewers. I really appreciate you giving the podcast a chance. And to my returning viewers who come back week after week, thank you so much. Welcome back again. I really appreciate you coming by. We're back on the tea, guys. I feel like for the past few weeks I've been going down drinking water because it's been so hot. Today is Sunday, and yesterday, Saturday, was absolutely pouring with rain, and we've had quite a few big thunderstorms throughout the week. In fact, there's some amazing pictures of the thunderstorms over London. They were really stunning. If I can find some, I'll link to them in the show notes. So yeah, it's good cup of tea weather. And today's, I'm sniffing it because it's chamomile, and chamomile is one of my favourites. I love how sweet it smells. It's got that kind of late summery grassy smell, and it's just lovely. I just really enjoy it, especially for the very grey days. At the moment I'm looking out and there's washing on the line, which I think is a risk because it is still very grey out and I think it's going to rain again. But raining just means more knitting time. For those of you who may not have seen, there is a video up about my time at PomFest. That is on my Tea2Go playlist. I will link to it, so if you wanted to see what I got up to at PomFest, what I bought, I will show you a little bit of that later, but if you want a really thorough look at what happened, please do check out that video. But now let's move on to Whipped Up. Before we dive into what I've been working on this week, I just wanted to talk about what I'm wearing. This little top is the Urban by Veera Välimäki. I knit this in 2015, maybe? I think it might have been 2015, out of yarn that I won. So on my Ravelry page, this is called Lucky 61 because 61 was my raffle ticket number. And I won the yarn, which is Anzula yarns in their Haiku base, which has bamboo in it. And I think this was the Aqua colourway. And this is actually, because I only had a couple of skeins, it only kind of wears as a t-shirt, whereas the original pattern is a little bit longer, more of a tunic length. And it's one of those that I've always meant to re-knit as a longer piece and maybe slightly looser so I could wear it over leggings, because it is really, really lovely shape. It's really wearable. It would just be even more wearable if it was actually a bit longer. But I really love it and I really don't wear it enough. So yeah, I thought I'd give it a little airing on the podcast today. Whenever I have a finished object, that is always where I want to start. So guess where I'm starting this week, guys? Look! I finished something! This is one of my hat kit hats. I'm calling this my rainwater hat because that is the yarn. It is Madeline Tosh in her rainwater colourway, and it's absolutely gorgeous and I'm so happy with it. Because it's a lighter colour than when I first knit this hat. It's the Graham hat by Jennifer Adams. When I first knit this for Rich, I did it in quite a dark brown, and you couldn't see the curve where the decreases created this really amazing little curve, which I think is really, really pretty, and it just looks really nice. So there we go. I haven't blocked it yet. I haven't blocked any of my hats yet. I read somewhere that I need to get some balloons to do the best job, so I need to get myself some balloons. Last time when I tried on one of the hats, I ended up with quite significant hat hair for most of the episode. So I don't know if I should try this one on. I have a concern about this, and you can probably see what it is. I think my DPNs were slightly too small, and it kind of comes to a bit of a point on the top here, which makes me a little bit sad. It's probably easier to see like that. It's got quite a point at the top, which frustrates me slightly. But I'm going to block it and see how it turns out before I make the decision to completely unpick it, because as you know, I had some issues with unpicking this one. I actually used exactly the same needles that I used on the original Graham hat that I knit for Rich, and I didn't have this issue, so I'm just wondering if I did and I've forgotten because it blocked out with wear and whatnot. So yeah, I'm going to block it before I make a decision on that. As you can see, I still haven't woven in my ends. I'm kind of planning to have a big weaving in ends block party when they're all finished, because I just think it would be so much easier to get them all on balloons, all woven in, all in one go. So I'm just going to have a little, it'll only take a little while, so it's not such a big deal. But I really do love this. I love the colour. I can see why Amy of Stranded loves grey so much, because this is a really beautiful grey. And yeah, I'm really happy with this. I think it'll probably be okay. I've decided to risk it and put it on. And I mean, I suppose it would be okay. I don't know, what does it look like on the camera? Who knows? Maybe I'll just leave it on and just have my little ends hanging, so that you don't have to deal with my hair afterwards. The rest of my knitting has been fairly monogamous. This is my current project. This is the Beeswax hat by Amy Vanderlaar, and it is knit in Madeleine Tosh, once again, in the begonia leaf colourway. I have a lot of feelings about this hat because I think it's gorgeous. I think that the pattern is really stunning. I think the colour works really nicely, and I think it's going to look beautiful when it's knit up, and it's going to be very much appreciated. However, this has been one of those projects where you knit 5 rows and you rip out 6. So I have probably knit this hat twice, and if you add up all the rows and stitches that I put in, but I've had to keep ripping back because the pattern is made up of lots and lots of mini cables, and I have been using this as handbag knitting, which was my #1 mistake. I've been taking it to the park on my lunch break, I've been having chats with people while working on this, and I just don't think that that was the wisest thing, because I've been using my phone to follow the pattern, and that's just not ideal when you're trying to be social, trying to follow a very small screen pattern and trying not to make any mistakes. So I was doing a lot of knitting in the park and then a lot of unpicking at home. To the point where yesterday I was about here and I was checking through it and checking my work, and I noticed so many miscrossed cables. And I suppose they wouldn't really have been noticeable unless you were looking, but I knew they were there. And this is where my little bit of perfectionism strikes, particularly when it's a gift. I just feel like if I'm going to give it, I want it to be the best that I can give. So I ripped all the way back to the end of the ribbon and I started again. So this is what I did yesterday while watching Blade Runner and then The Lost City of Zed, because it was pouring with rain, and what else do you do but sit in bed and watch films and knit? I think this is going to be stunning when it's finished. I'm going to love it, but it is a bit of a slog getting there because of my perfectionism. The pattern is very clear, there are very clearly written instructions and very clearly charted instructions, but this is not. For me, it might be for you, but for me, this is not a social knit because I have to concentrate and get my repeats correct and turn my cables the right way. So I really do need to stop taking this to lunch. I really do. This should just be an at-home project. I have started using my laptop instead of my phone, so I can highlight which row I'm on and then I can see at a glance what I'm doing. So yeah, this is going to become a home project and I'm hoping to finish it this week, so wish me luck. My plan is to get my beeswax hat finished and my hortensia is going to be my next finished object. I have about half the collar left to do. There's so little to do, it seems silly that it's languishing there. But what has really given me the impetus to finish that is the fact that I bought 2 sweaters quantities of yarn from Pomfest. If you want to see in detail what I bought and my plans for it, please do check out my PomFest vlog. But in the meantime, this is my PomFest haul. It's all stranded, all stranded Dyeworks, and this here is her Industrial Kingfisher on her Oasis base, and this will be the Pavement by Veera Välimäki. This here is a paint box one of a kind and will be the Soiree by Emily Foden from issue 21 of Pom Pom Quarterly. I also picked up a cheeky skein of La Bien Amie, which is going to be a sock head hat. I need to check that it is fingering weight that is required for that hat. I'm really hoping so, because I want this to be a hat for me, because I think it's gorgeous. And I really hope that when I play this back to edit, I don't go, oh, that really doesn't suit me at all. I was also incredibly lucky to receive a skein of Flamingo legs from Amy of Stranded Dyeworks. This is on her Paradise MCM base. And this is not for me. This is for you, lovely lot. This is going to be a giveaway prize. I have decided to give this away when we hit 2,000 subscribers. So keep an eye out. Hopefully that will be happening in the near future. And you too could win this lovely, lovely squishy skein of yarn. And I got a little bit distracted then because it is so lovely and squishy. You probably can't see on the camera, but I really am growing a pile of yarn here, which, considering how much knitting time I've had, is probably, yeah, it makes me a little bit anxious because I'm just never going to get through it, ever. The stash acquisition does not end there. That was what I purchased at PomFest, but I was very, very lucky in the week to have a load of yarn at work. There was some that needed a home, and I had a rummage through the bag and I grabbed myself some goodies. First up is 3 skeins of this awesome Regia Perfect. I always think I sound really Liverpudlian when I say perfect. Sounds like I'm saying perfect. It's perfect, perfect. Totally distracted, sorry. What a great accent that is though. This is the Arnie and Carlos collection, and it's got the yellow strand in there so that you know where to start each sock, so that you can get 2 perfectly matching socks. And they show you the design, and it's really interesting. Like, the design is really cool, and I would love these socks. I would love all 3 of these. So I've just got to try and finish some socks because I am acquiring sock yarn at a rate of knots, and I have yet to finish a pair of socks. That's ridiculous. That is so bad. I also picked up another Regia sock yarn. This is the tweed colour and is just this awesome bluey green stripes. And you know me, I live for blue and green. So yeah, this is also another one that would make a very happy addition to my sock drawer. And then I picked up this. And I don't quite know why. I was just very aware that I was picking up a lot of stuff that I would like and not much for anyone else. So I thought these would make really good walking socks for Rich. They're like a tweedy, porridgey, oaty colour that can go in his walking boots, keep him nice and toasty, and they're not so jazzy that he wouldn't wear them. But I just can't believe I would get a sock out of that, let alone 2 out of 2 balls. He's got massive feet. So I don't quite know what I was thinking there. These might end up being walking socks for me. But, you know, it's the thought that counts. I'm going to try, and if they end up in my sock drawer instead, I mean, if they end up made, let's be fair. One other acquisition this week, which I'm not going to share with you just yet, is Sock Architecture by Lara Neal. This was something that Amy had mentioned on her podcast, the Stranded podcast. I sound like I'm sponsored by Stranded this week. I'm not. Amy, if you want to pay me, I accept yarn. But she had recommended this as a really great book for sock knitters, and she's a sock knitter extraordinaire, so I went straight to Amazon and ordered it. I had a flick through, it looks super interesting, but I would like to do a more comprehensive review once I've really sat down and spent some time going through it, maybe worked on a couple of the patterns. So watch this space, there will be a review of that coming soon. Yeah, that's it for Whipped Up this week. It was more stash than whips, which is always concerning, space-wise. But let's move swiftly on to knit and natter. I was going to talk about PomFest in this week's Knit and Natter, but as we have established, there is a whole video on that, so I don't want to go into too much detail. I just wanted to say how amazing it was. It was genuinely a great day. I went on the Friday, which was mercifully a little bit quieter than I was anticipating. I don't enjoy it being really crammed full of people, so that was really nice. I got to catch up with lots of friends, I got to meet some people. I'm really sorry because it only occurred to me when I was there that I hadn't really vocalised very much here on the podcast that I was going to be there. But I did meet some lovely people and it was absolutely lovely to meet you. So hello to all of the lovely viewers who popped by to say hello to me. And I wanted to let you know that I will be at Fibre East on Saturday. That's Saturday the 29th of July. I'm not sure yet what time I'm planning to get there. It's all very much to be decided at the moment, but for definite, I will be there on Saturday the 29th. I have a very busy weekend planned next weekend. I'm not entirely sure when I'm going to get a nice lie-in, but, you know, Fibre East, guys, you know. I do love me a lie-in, though. But I am very, very excited to say that I picked up a new camera. The camera that I'm currently filming on is Rich's. It's a Canon DSLR. I'm not sure what model because that's not the kind of thing I know. If it was made of yarn, I would know. But he very kindly lets me use it. He's happy for me to take it out and about. But it is very bulky. It's got a very big lens, it's quite heavy, and it means I can't do too much selfieing. And it's quite chunky to get out and to be filming unobtrusively. So I did not get as much footage from PomFest as I would have liked. I discussed this with Rich. I talked about potentially getting a new camera just for out and about vlogging, because there's so much now that I'm back in London that I really, really want to share on this channel, but it's a bit tricky with a really big DSLR. So guess what came today? It's currently upstairs because it's charging, but I got myself a fancy new little camera which will be making its debut at Fibre East. I'm really, really excited about this. I'm looking forward to doing more vlogging, better vlogs, frankly, and I'm actually considering doing Vlogtober and Vlogmas this year. I always watch them and I think they look like so much fun and they look like such a great challenge. I would love to get involved in that this year, so wish me luck. That is the plan. We are moving in October, so I might get halfway through October and then just throw it all up in the air and go, nope, no more. But I'm gonna give it a go. And yeah, I'm really excited for the opportunities that having a new piece of kit will introduce. But that's it for this week. I am planning, as I said, to do a vlog for Fibre East, so there will be something up next week. I am then going to be podcasting the week after. This every other week schedule is really working for me. I'm really enjoying it. I hope you guys don't mind, but it just gives me more opportunity to make plans, to do really fun things that I can then share with you. And now that I have a smaller camera, that means that I can actually share them with you, which, yeah, I'm just really chuffed about and I can't wait to get stuck in. In the meantime, have a lovely couple of weeks. If you are going to be at Fibre East on Saturday, please do let me know. I would love to see you there. If you see me, just pop over and say hello. It's great. I love meeting people. In the meantime, have a lovely week. I will see you very soon for another cup of tea. Take care. Bye.